everyone. I welcome you all to class 10 social science. In the previous chapter, we learned about different forms of power sharing. And in this chapter, we will learn about one prominent form of power sharing, that is vertical form of power sharing. And that is basically top to bottom approach. Here, we will see the central, state and local levels of government. Not only this, but also we will learn the definition of federalism, then how federal form of government is different from unitary form of government, then features of federalism, then how India's federalism were made strengthened through different policies and politics, and last but not the least, in this chapter towards the end we will see decentralization. And so that is the third and important feature of federalism of India. So let's begin the chapter. Now let's understand federalism. So before I start the lesson, I just want to share a small story with you. Like every day when you go to school, before entering the school premises, at the first you see there is a gatekeeper, isn't it? And after that, when you enter the school building, you see the receptionist or the reception area, that administrative area, accountant, and then finally you reach the classroom. And throughout the day you see different teachers come and teach you different subjects. And sometime you must have seen that your principal is standing outside the classroom. Have you ever wondered why school needs gatekeepers, receptionists, administrative staff, accountant, teachers, principal, and other school board members? Probably yes, or probably no. So the reason behind having all this department is to ease the burden of one single department, because in school is a very big setup and diverse people come to study. Diverse people, I mean to say, diverse background students come to study from the school. So it is not possible for one department to take care of the students' need. So we need to have some departments, and all the departments are very important. We cannot ignore any one of them. And they are assigned some responsibilities so that they can run the school very efficiently. So here, in this context, I would like to tell you, so country is a bigger term, isn't it? School is a very small unit. In the contrast, the country as a whole is very big unit. So in order to run the country smoothly and efficiently, what we need different departments, or I must say different levels of government. In the previous, you have seen the principal is at the top, central government is at the top level, then teachers are the secondary, and states in case of country is the second level, and the third level is there is a third level government. So when there is division of power among different levels of government, like central, state and local levels, this direct us to the concept of federalism. So federalism meaning over here is sharing of power or responsibilities among different levels of the government in a country. So if power is not shared among different levels of the government, what will happen? Then the power will be concentrated in one government. So that will be called unitary form of government. In case of Sri Lanka, you can see that the whole power was concentrated in the central government, or one government that was majoritarian and ruled by the Sinhala speaking people, and their religion was mainly Buddhism. In case of Belgium, we saw that the power had been shared among different levels of the government, like regional level and central level. Also, you can see the Brussels, the capital city, had given special provision. Other than you saw that there was community government. So they divided or shared power among different levels of government, community, and there was no discrimination on the basis of that. Federalism is a system of government in which the power is divided between the central authority and various constituent units of the country. Usually a federation has two levels of government, two or more levels of government, you can say. So one is the government for entire country that is usually responsible for few subjects of common national interest. And the other are governments, you can see others are the governments at the level of provinces or the state that took later much of the day-to-day administering of their states. So here you can see these two levels of government, how they function at a country level as well as the state level. Here you can see very important point. Both these levels of government enjoy their power independent of the other. So there is no, that means what? There is no interference by each other. Like center will not interfere in the matter of state, also state will not interfere in the matter of center. So that is how you can see they have sovereignty, also no government interfere each other's jurisdiction, or they do not go beyond each other's jurisdiction. Okay, now let's move to the next part of this chapter. Here you can see in the sense of unitary and federal form of government. You can see contrasted with the unitary form of government. Under the unitary form of government or system, either there is only one level of government or the sub-units are subordinate to the central government. So here you can see in case of unitary form of government, the central government is supreme. Whatever decision is taken by the central government will be accepted by the state government or subordinate governments. That means there are subordinates units. The central government can pass on orders to the provincial or the local governments. Okay, so supremacy is given to central government and state governments or the other units are just subordinate. But in case of federalism, you will see exactly opposite. That's why we are studying the difference between federal government and unitary home government. Clear? Now let's understand what is written over here about federalism. But in federal system, you can see the central government cannot order the state government to do something. Why? Because state government and central government both have equal powers. Both are equally powerful because both are equally important to govern the country. If any unit is subordinate, that means the unit has not given that much power. Clear? State government has power of its own for which it is not answerable to the central government. So that means whatever the state government takes decision, the central government is supposed to respect those decision. Also, state government is not answerable for what it is doing. Both these governments are separately answerable to the people. State government, it is answerable to its people living in that state. Central government is also answerable to the people living in that country as a whole, because already we discussed the central government is the government which takes care of the people, country as a whole. Clear? So here you can see how federal government is powerful than the unitary form of government, because in unitary form of government there is no units, only one form of government, and that is responsible. And sometimes you can see this unitary form of government can be converted into dictatorship. But in federal form of government there is no such chance. Now let's understand the features of federalism, how federalism or how federal government functions in a country. First, you can see there should be more than 2 levels of government. More than 2 levels of government, like in case of India, it is state, center, and local. So local level of government further classified into 2. One is urban and another is rural. Clear? So I will discuss about local self-government later in this chapter. You can see different tiers of government govern the same citizen. Now let's understand this portion. Different tiers of government meaning central, state, and local. So these 3 governments govern the same citizen. That means the people living in that country, like all the people living in that country, for example India, all the people are governed by central government, also state government, also local government. Because in the state you will see there are 2 types of local government, rural and urban. So they are part of the same state, and all the states are part of the central government. That is how they take care of the people. But each tier has its own jurisdiction. So what is jurisdiction? Jurisdiction is basically the functioning area. Functioning area meaning like state government, central government, and local government will work being in their own domain. It is basically domain. and they have given specific matters or legislation, taxation and administration. Specific matter, like in case of state, you will see there are 66 matters given. Let's move to the third point. Here the jurisdiction of the, here you will see the jurisdiction of the respective level of the tiers of government are specified in the constitution. Like each and every tier of the government, central, state and local level, have given constitutional status. So the existence and authority of each tier of government is constitutionally guaranteed. Like they will not, like state government, central government and local level government, they will act according to the constitution. Whatever the functions mentioned for them in the constitution, they will abide by them. And no one can declare them as unconstitutional, because they have given constitutional status. Now move to the fourth point. Fourth point is the fundamental provision of the constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. See, if there is any fundamental provision, it cannot be changed by unilaterally. That meaning single government cannot change that, whether it is state government or central government. Both of them are supposed to sit together, discuss about the matter and then legislate that provision. Clear? Means unilaterally means only one government cannot take the decision, final decision. For that, they are supposed to discuss with each other. And such changes require the consent of both the levels of the government, like I said. Then fifth point over here is courts have the power to interpret the constitution and the powers of different levels of the government. Courts meaning here judiciary has the power to interpret the constitution. Everybody knows that the judiciary is the interpreter of our constitution, also guardian of our constitution, and it has given special power that is called judicial review. So judicial review meaning if any laws go against the constitution, then the judiciary can declare this as unconstitutional. Then the legislature is supposed to bring change, that means amend the law so that it is according to the constitution. So you can understand that courts have given immense power in order to interpret the constitution, guardian the constitution, also to review any laws through judicial review power. Also the highest court acts as an umpire if disputes arise between different levels of government in the exercise of their respective powers. Like central government and state government, they are having conflict on any matter, then this matter can be taken to the Supreme Court. Here is the highest court meaning the Supreme Court. You know, there is our judicial system has hierarchy. At the top it is the Supreme Court, then high courts at the state level, and then subordinate courts, that is district court. So the final interpreter over here is the Supreme Court. So the highest court acts as an umpire, that meaning the Supreme Court has the power to interpret the constitution, and disputes whatever happens or arises will be resolved by the highest court. Now come to the sixth point. Sixth is the sources of revenue for each level of the government are clearly specified to ensure its financial autonomy. What does it mean? Like in order to run the state or country, each government needs money, whether it is local level government, state level government or central government, they need money in order to run the country efficiently for establishing school, colleges, or mainly for infrastructure. So from where they get money? From taxation. So for taxation, each and every levels of government has specific sources of revenue. So and they are mentioned in the constitution, so that no government is dependent on no one. Like central government will not be dependent on state or local government for financial assistance. Also state government and local government will not be dependent on the central government. I'm not talking about India, but in general. But in case of India, in some cases state government is dependent on central government, but for local government they have specified taxation sources from where they can collect revenue in order to build infrastructure in the local area. Clear? So what are now let's sum up the features of federalism. First, it is two or more levels of government. Second, no government will go beyond their jurisdiction. Third, it is the the jurisdiction of each and every government has specified in the constitution. Fourth, the fundamental provision of the constitution cannot be changed unilaterally. For that, both the levels of government need to sit and discuss. Then fifth, it is the highest court or the Supreme Court has the ultimate power to bring change, interpret the constitution and resolve the problems occurring between central government and state government. And sixth one is the sources of revenue are specified in the constitution for different levels of government so that they can avoid clashes. Clear? Now let's move to the next part of this chapter. So here you can see it is written 7th, the federal system. It is not the feature of federal system, but I must say, why do we need to have federal system? So let's understand why do we need to have federal system. Here you can see there are two objectives. Need meaning objectives: to safeguard and promote unity in the country. First point you can see, first point is to promote and safeguard the unity of the country, and second is the accommodate regional diversity. Therefore, two aspects are crucial for the institutions and practice of federalism. Two important point: accommodation of regional diversity, and first it is to hold unity, to have unity in the country. Clear? See what happens when we share power among different levels of the government, then each level of government becomes happy meaning no government is ignored. In case of Sri Lanka, you have seen that the minority people were ignored completely. They were ignored, and even they did not have any identity living in that country. So here, if we give or share power among different groups, social groups, we will be able to have unity in the country, and it will lead to peace and prosperity of the country. So in every way, federal form of government is important. Now let's understand different types of federalism. So federalism, there are two types of federalism. Okay, if I talk about types, two types. You will see first coming together, and second you will see holding together. We will see the features of coming together and holding together federalism here. See, in this paragraph, the exact balance of the power between the central and the state government varies from one federation to another federation. So that means we need to establish balance, and for that you can see that the state government varies from one federation to the another federation. Okay, how come this balance can be established? Here you can see there are two kinds of routes through which the federation has been formed. Now let's understand. The first route, you can see the first route involves independent states coming together on their own to form a bigger unit, so that by pooling sovereignty and retaining identity, they can increase their security. So what are the main purposes? Over here you can see, first, independent units come together and form a bigger unit. First. Second, you will see they come together so that they can secure themselves, their existence mainly, and they can have sovereignty, means there will be no interference by external power. Again, another important point over here you can see of this type of coming together federation, this is called coming together. Why? Because other smaller groups are coming and forming a bigger unit. So that's why it is called coming together federation, including USA, Switzerland, Australia. It is very easy to remember the example. You can remember like this. You can remember USA. So U for USA, S for Spain. Sorry, not Spain, it is Switzerland. S for Switzerland and A for There's no space. Understanding? It will be helpful for you to remember the coming together federations example. USA. First category, federation. All the constituent state usually have equal power and are strong, vice versa the federal government. So here there is no subordination. Each and every group are equal in their own position. Now come to the next type of federation. It is holding together federation. You can see it is holding together federation. So the example of such kind of federation over here is, you can see India. It is not India, Spain and Belgium. How can you remember the states or the country? You can write down, remember like SBI. S for Spain, B for Belgium, I for India. Clear? So let's understand their features. Spain and Belgium are example of this. The second route where the large country decides to divide its power between the constituent states and the national government. So they divide the power between two levels of government: constituent units, that means states, and central government. Clear? In case of Belgium you have seen, and also case of India, and there is another example, Spain. Okay. In this second category, the central government tends to be more powerful than state. In case of India, you will see that the central government has centralized tendency. That means the central government controls the other units. So very often different constituent units of the federation have unequal powers. Some units are granted special power. That means unequal power shared between central and state level of government, and some units are guaranteed special powers. For example, you can see some of the states of India have given special power, like Nagaland, Ladakh, sorry, not Ladakh, but Meghalaya, Assam. But earlier Jammu and Kashmir had been given special provision. It has been removed. In Article 370 it was mentioned, but now that has been deleted from our constitution. Deleted, I mean to say, it has been ended. Okay, so now let's sum up this to paragraph. There are two types of federalism. One is coming together, another is holding together. In coming together, the federal units come together and form a bigger unit. So here the center and the state both have given equal power. No one is subordinate to no government, is no subordinate to no government. An example, it is USA, Australia and Switzerland. In case of holding together, it is the states or the units, they form their own unit. For example, India, Spain and Belgium. And here you will see the central government has centralized tendency. That means it is more powerful and controls the other units. And some states have given some special powers. In case of India, I just gave you the example. Okay. Hope you understood and liked my session. If you liked it, then don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you. Thank you so very much.